What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling fantastic today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, even Saturn, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going forward. Wouldn't that be fun if she was right over there? Which message she's going forward, of course. Just all those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the lunar shenanigans with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be great, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And so, Cancer, the moon is going to be going void of course today. And with the moon's going to be going void of course at about 4:33, and that's going to be p.m., and that'll be Central Time. And she will be entering from Capricorn into Aquarius on tomorrow, Wednesday, the 7th of June, at about 3:41 in the morning. So we're looking at about an 11-hour, 8-minute void of course time there, Cancer. And with the void of course energy, this is an energy to just recharge your batteries, do some meditation, really just kind of check in and see how you're doing, Cancer, with everything, all the energies that we might accumulate at any given time. And then also, Cancer, this is an energy, you may notice that your plans may be subject to unexpected changes during this period of time. And then that also people are less likely to make decisions during this energy. So just something to be mindful of there, Cancer. And then considering that Capricorn's got this day, we're going to give that moon to Capricorn. And with the moon being in Capricorn, this is a very hard-working placement for the moon. So if we've been thinking about any sort of like achievements, or if we want to do things towards our career, or really want to start maybe working on our like reputation, maybe we're posting some more stuff, or we're like I don't know, maybe if you're doing something in the public eye, for example, maybe we're doing more meetings in front of people, or doing some stuff on like social media, just anything that involves, I feel like, that drive, you know, any sort of like ambitions, things like that. Capricorn energy is great for that. It's very strategic, very structured, very principled. So definitely, Cancer, work with this energy here. And you know, this is going to be nice too when you couple that with the waning gibbous phase, because now we're starting to get into the more reflective side of the lunar cycles. And this is like the calm after the storm. You know, this is a great time to show gratitude and appreciation for yourself, Cancer, for putting in this amount of effort for whatever it is that you set out for this lunar cycle, this go round, and see in what ways has this transformed you, you know, whether this been for positive or for negative. And then if so, if it's on the negative end, you know, this is a great time for some internal reflection, assessment, see how we can kind of tweak some things, you know, and evaluate what ways do you want to change this during the next lunar cycle. That's something that you're thinking about there, Cancer. And then, is that it? Yeah, I think that's it, Cancer. Last couple of things. These readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so applying these energies to people as they make sense for their situations. And also, I think I'm going to move this to the front, Cancer. I have a list, I think it's called a tag. I've put some readers that I personally like watching. That list is going to grow down in the description box as well. And then the decks that I'm working with is down there. All that housekeeping down in the description box, little Cancer. So definitely check that out if you're interested. I got to work on that flow, Cancer. Let's get your card here. Ooh, okay. So you got the 5th card of Aquarius here, which is the Pillory card. And with this card, this is a card of open dishonor, humiliation, finding fault, punishment, abusive, shut down, caught, public ridicule and mockery, nowhere to run, censure, serving time, invulnerable. And you know, Cancer, I feel like with this card, especially if we were whatever we set out on maybe during this lunar cycle didn't quite stick or hasn't quite given you the results that you've wanted. Maybe you expect this to be further along, or however that may have been looking. You know, if we've been feeling in a place of maybe we've been feeling disappointed, or maybe been beating ourselves up or something along those lines. You know, this is a very vulnerable time when you get into that reflective side on yourself. You want to show yourself some compassion and some love, because the fact that you even set out to do this thing, you've leveled up in some kind of way. It may not have been how you necessarily anticipated, but there was growth that has happened. And then this again allows you to, it's, you know, even when things maybe don't quite hit their mark, it's just an indicator. It's just like, okay, that's fine. Let me take a step back, reflect. You know, Cancer, that's our specialty, reflecting and doing that, just kind of figuring out how we can just tweak things and stuff like that. But I will say, definitely be mindful with especially how intensely we can feel, Cancer, and how deep we can feel. You want to be, because if we stay in this place of like, you know, where we're being possibly like, you know, really like overly critical of ourselves, and, you know, possibly getting into some like, you know, self-deprecation and things along those lines. If you notice you're getting in that kind of spiral, Cancer, let's see if we can try to counteract some of that stuff. You know, balance that out with some self-love, some affirmations, however that might be looking. Now, for some others, you know, since we were talking about Capricorn energy, because Capricorn, they're associated with the 10th house along with Saturn, and that deals with kind of like your public image and your and things along those lines. So, and even if you're not in the public eye, when this card pops up, I just like to say that just be mindful of how you're being perceived in public, or just, and it's not to say that you can't act yourself, Cancer. The analogy that I like to use for this card is like, you know, you're at an office party, and you know, the drinks are flowing, we're having a good time, and maybe we have a little bit too good of a time, Cancer. The next thing you know, you come back the next day, maybe not quite feeling your best, and then you hear you're the talk of the party, you old party animal. But it's just being mindful of that as well, you know, not just being aware of the influence that you do have, you know, in this realm, Cancer. So, but let's get some tarot and get some details. Ooh. All right, Emperor. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Cancer. Little sword party here, and that's cool because you got the 2 of Swords, you have the 4 of Swords upright, and then we have the Emperor in reverse here. And you know, I almost feel like for some of you, maybe if you were resonating with that fact, like with what we were set out, if what we set out during this lunar cycle hasn't been quite going how we wanted to, and maybe we've been trying to force it, been trying to like really push and push and push, and seeing that we're not getting the results that we want, I feel like the Emperor popping up in reverse here is just saying like, let's slow down for a little bit, because if we keep going at the same thing and we're not, you know, we're expecting different results, that's the quickest way to lead to a Hanged Man situation, which the Hanged Man is about, you know, newer perspectives, thinking about how we can shift this stuff. What do we learn if you know, if we really are hitting a roadblock? You know, the 2 of Swords is making that decision. It's just like, all right, hey, this isn't working. How can we pivot? You know, how can we achieve balance again? Because this is the Moon in Libra, and this is here. And this another one is Libra's card. The 4 of Swords can also be a card of, you know, taking a break, Cancer, and reflecting on this stuff, you know, especially if you've noticed that, and if you see that you're getting in your head, you're feeling frustrated, you know, whatever that may be looking like. But, you know, the 4 of Swords is giving your mind a break and giving your body a break, you know, because working on incorporating new things and like new routines into your life, Cancer, on top of letting stuff go, on top of that, that can be a lot on just the body, you know, mentally, physically, spiritually. It can be a whole lot. So just making sure that we are finding balance in between this, and getting resting up, and not forcing our way through this stuff, and, you know, just making sure to take those breaks. But I'm also kind of feeling for some others. Again, just being mindful really of because because I'm almost getting, if we've been, let's say for example, if you are like a manager, or maybe like you own your own company or something like that, anything that we may be dealing with, where we're working with others or might be kind of overseeing others, I feel like this is just being aware of any sort of like just, and not to say that you're, throwing around heat and, being criticizing or anything, Cancer, but the Emperor Aries energy, when, a little unbalanced, it can be aggressive. And so just being aware of that, Cancer, how we may be coming across to others, because I get maybe you got some things behind the scene that might be kind of cooking up here. And we try to keep, sometimes we try to keep that stuff, we want to leave it at the door when we're getting to work, but depending on what's going down, sometimes that stuff can kind of bleed over into the workspace, Cancer, especially if we're not dealing with something, because that's something that's very infamous for especially for like, when we get in Capricorn energy, but a Capricorn moon, there's a tendency to not deal with the things that may be going on in our head and try to channel it into our work, and that could eventually lead to our detriment, Cancer, because the moon is technically in detriment in Capricorn. So just something to be mindful of there as well. But if this is on the other end, Cancer, let's say if you're in, maybe you're one who's dealing with someone who's maybe a little oppressive, maybe abusive, whether this be maybe a boss, or this could even be like a family member, a friend, something along those lines. I feel like we do have a choice. It's just like, do we want to stay in this place where these energies may be lowering our vibrations? Or do we want to get out of this and give ourselves some peace, find ourselves some relief from this stuff here? And because I get, Cancer, like it can be tough, when it comes to confronting others, or even like a situation or things. But again, if it's going to be to your detriment, we want to be mindful of that. Let's see what else we got here, Cancer. All right, Cancer, you're heating up here. Yeah, we got Aries, and then we got Leo here. Okay, so you got the Seven of Pentacles here, and then you got the Strength card in reverse. And so, like I was saying, Cancer, with the Strength card being in reverse, if there's something that has been leeching your vitality, or that has been just kind of sapping your energy and just be really having you not feeling at your confident, feeling at your best, then with the Seven of Pentacles is asking, do we want to keep investing in this situation, or do we want to look for some alternative stuff where, because I can get where sometimes we may put up with stuff because let's say for example that this is a job, we might put up with some, some abusive behavior, some, maybe some harsh behavior, because we don't want to mess up with our finances and things. And where I totally get that, Cancer, your mental health and all of that stuff is just as important as this material things here. Because here's the thing, if your energy's not going, feeling right, and you're not feeling passionate about what you're doing, because it's not even saying that you have to like love what you're doing, because I get, just getting about it, you know what I mean, like to keep things afloat here. But if it's getting to a place where it's just becoming too much to bear, where it's just like it doesn't seem like the balance is just like way out of balance, just something to think about, Cancer. Okay. Alrighty, let's get some tea, and then let's see what are some challenges that might come and work with this energy. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, Cancer, so you got, for some challenges, you got the Two of Cups upright here, and then we have the Sun card in reverse. And so, some challenges, Cancer. If something inside of you, is telling you that this isn't resonating with you, if you just in your gut, that it's just like, it's time for a change, this is not, because it's one thing when I feel like, especially if we're in like some sort of like situation that has just been keeping you down, or maybe it's been whatever this might be looking like. If it's yeah, if it's just like if it really has got you not feeling right, or you don't see that there's any kind of like any sort of change that's going to be happening, then I do feel like some challenges where it can be hard to make those shifts, Cancer. I feel like it's going to be where it might take a little bit to adjust to this thing. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be worth it in the long run, you know, because it's just like this energy's here, you know, the fact that it's in reverse, it's just like, it's, again, where are we investing in this? Is this really what how you pictured being at this stage of your journey? So yeah, really just, you know, pay attention to higher self, Cancer, to that intuition, and yeah, and really to your feelings, and because that's gonna be a strong indicator for your intuition. And it's just, yeah, again, if there's no harmony there, then it's time to bounce, Cancer. And again, that's a relationship, a job thing, whatever that's looking like. All right, Cancer. Oh, yeah? Okay, hold on, Cancer. We got a little bit more of this Two of Cups here. Hold on. Good. Okay, Cancer. Hold up. Oh. Dropping things. Let's see what's going down here. And oh, Cancer. Oh yeah, Cancer. Because you got our card, the Chariot here. You got the Three of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles in reverse here. So Cancer, yeah, I'm really getting a strong feeling of just like taking a moment and just kind of pausing and evaluating. And this doesn't even have to be anything like super big, Cancer. I feel like it's just like maybe there's just like this, if you're just noticing just like a trend in your head, it's just like, gosh, I hate this thing, or just like, man, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think what would be a good example. Let's say if this is like, yeah, Cancer, I don't have any examples at the moment, but yeah, I'm just really am getting a strong thing here that it's just like asking you, where are we putting our energies right now? And if it's and I feel like that there's something here that's just like not quite fitting right. You know what I mean? Like just something here is very, like it's almost like we may be trying to maybe trying to force something to work here, whether this is work, a relationship, living situation, but you know, I feel like it may be time to just maybe change up the routine here, Cancer, and just be maybe checking who we're invested in or how we're invested in something, you know, how that's working with our energies. And if it's gotten you where you feel like life has just been kind of stalled, it's been just sort of like you've just been maybe just kind of the same old stuff all the time, and maybe we've just been kind of eating it, or just something along those lines, you know, maybe just putting up with stuff just to kind of save face, or, you know, not to rock the boat or anything along those lines, where I don't feel like you need to necessarily like go attack the emperor or anything along those lines, but I do feel that it is something where, you know, stand up for yourself, you know, and I feel like if this is a job thing, for example, you know, maybe start putting resumes out there, possibly, you know, I wouldn't tell you what to do, Cancer, but just maybe start putting stuff out there, and then maybe when we have something locked down, maybe address this emperor, just like, hey, you know, just some things that I have observed, you know, maybe for the incoming crew that's going to be happening, for your current people that are going down. So, you know, we can make this a civil thing, Cancer. But all right, Cancer, let's get some advice from Saturn. Interesting reading here. You know, Cancer, I am getting something here too, just being mindful of, oh, look at that, a surprise Wheel of Fortune here. Being mindful of any sort of like authority figures or anything along those lines. Like, not that I feel like that, you know, anyone's going to necessarily be coming after you, Cancer, but just because the emperor can deal with authority and things. So I just feel like, you know, considering we got this, you know, there's a potential, you know, this energies can deal with, you know, like serving time and things along those lines. So I just feel like, not that you need to be, you know, walking on eggshells or anything along those lines, but I just feel like just be mindful of any sort of like maybe authority figures in our life, whether this could be, you know, like the law and things, or this could even be maybe like a father figure, or maybe even like a paternal thing, whatever that's looking like, Cancer. But we got the Wheel of Fortune here for some advice from Saturn here. And I just feel that with the Wheel of Fortune popping up, you know, this is Jupiter energy. And when we think about the Wheel of Fortune, it's just like if you've noticed that this cycle hasn't been panning out how you want to, you know, we haven't got the level of abundance that we want, or, you know, we haven't been feeling as fulfilled in what we've been doing, then how can we change the direction of this wheel? Can we guide it? Like, how do we guide it towards our happiness, our confidence, all of that, Cancer, get our stability back? But I feel like that it's going to be realizing that, because maybe for some of us, maybe we feel like that we can't get out of this situation. Maybe there's been this maybe like a gaslighting thing, or maybe, you know, something along those lines. But Cancer, we're the Chariot. I mean, you can get out of anything whenever you want, you know, like there's, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is something's been holding you back, Cancer. I do feel like, how can we get this Chariot moving again? Let's see what else we got. All right, Cancer, last little bit here. Interesting. All right. Another one of our cards. We got the Three of Cups here in reverse, and let's switch back over here, Cancer. Because with the Three of Cups, you know, this is Mercury in Cancer, and I bring that up to say, I feel like pay attention to your thoughts, Cancer, and your feelings. Let's get that head and that heart in alignment here. And really do ask yourself these questions, just like if there's something that we're not feeling satisfied in life, or if we're noticing that something has been, I don't know, just been keeping you shut down, or maybe you're feeling trapped somewhere or something along those lines. Maybe you feel like what you're doing right now feels like you're serving time, or like we're serving a sentence or something along those lines. And if that's what we're feeling, Cancer, I know that may seem like a duh, let's move on, but you know, sometimes it's what we may be willing to compromise for the sake of, you know, maybe financial security, because I get it, you know, like however this may be translating, or for, you know, maybe you don't want to be not in a relationship, or whatever this is. I just feel like really paying attention to that. And if we've noticed that the energies have been maybe more on the negative end, how can we adjust that, Cancer? You know, and this could be something too. Maybe some of us have been, it could maybe use like a night out or something along those lines. Maybe being around some friends or something, or just some energies to just like uplift you in things, bring some more celebration and abundance and happiness to kind of break this funk. And maybe someone too, while you're out with these homies, you know, maybe talk to a King of Pentacles, be okay, maybe taking out some people maybe you want to be vulnerable with, you know, that you can discuss this stuff or something along those lines, Cancer. Because even when you think about Aquarius energy, this fifth card here, you know, Aquarius energy is all about, one of the things is about networking and socializing and stuff. So just something to think about here, Cancer. But I think I'm going to leave that there. So if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Cancer, because, you know, the mind is a very interesting thing sometimes. You know, we can really get in a place where we can really convince ourselves that it really something is for the better. Or, you know, it's like because we're compromising, or that we're giving so much that, you know, we're going to give back that abundance. And where that is true, I feel like that if it's really not, yeah, Cancer, I'm about to get back into your reading, but, you know, share this. If you know someone who may be going with this or going through this, and subscribe, hit that bell button. You get notified when I release videos each day. And then something, you know, maybe while we're thinking about this, I've been on this meditation app Insight Timer, and I started a group on there called great for just general meditation, Cancer, but I started a group on there specifically called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post like positive affirmations, encouraging messages. I mean, this might be something, you know, if we're going through this, what better way, you know, I've been dropping affirmations every day since I stopped by, or since I created that group, Cancer. So go pick yourself a little nugget, you know, if you've just been in a maybe negative headspace. There's a treasure trove in there. And definitely as the group grows, we're going to start scheduling things like doing different stuff with you can schedule different meditations and things, maybe like keeping it moving with the Chariot, or rising up with the Emperor, or taking charge with the Emperor. I don't know, you know, developing confidence with the Strength card, something along those lines, Cancer. But yeah, all that information is in the description box. And then lastly, also in that old good old description box, I've listed a couple apps that I personally like using to check your chart, Cancer, you know, and all you need is your date of birth, place of birth, and time of birth. And you can even, without the time, it gets a little tricky, but you can get a general idea. I'd be a little mindful with your rising placement if you don't know your birth time, and if anything falls on like a 0 or a 29th degree, just be a little wary about that. But otherwise, do all those things, Cancer, and then come on over to my other channel, Alchemist State. I do videos weekly there with different themes. You know, our birthday season's coming up soon. I'm about to do our yearly spread. I got a little surprise to that I'm gonna be doing around our birthday season towards I'm thinking towards July time, Cancer. We'll see. I'm still getting that, once I get all settled in and the move and stuff, I'm really gonna start getting that idea cooking up. So, but all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. Interesting. All right, Cancer, you got the Page of Cups in reverse here. And while I'm getting your surprise card, you know, if you've been feeling like just really kind of restricted in any sort of way, like maybe we can't express our feelings, maybe we've been kind of biting our tongue, or whatever that is, Cancer, I feel like this is allowing your, whoa, come on, girl. I feel like this is, absolutely. This is saying, because you got the Motherwort card in reverse here, this is ruled by Venus. Empress energy. And this is the, wow, Cancer. Come on, Cancer. Double Strength card in reverse here. So if something, I'm doubling down on that. If something isn't feeling right, you know, if it's really affected your confidence or really just been bringing you down, however that's been looking, affected some kind of thing, then how can we get that back in balance? You know, how can we nurture that energy to where we're feeling confident again? Because that's aggressive, Cancer. Double Strength card. So yeah, and just really, if you haven't been feeling confident in what you're doing, it's just like, how can we get that back and with Venus, get back in that Empress energy, Cancer. So all right, Cancer, I think I'm gonna leave that there. So just something to think about. But you stay safe out there with all the, you know, every time this with pillories and, you know, Emperors in reverse, you know, keep a lookout there, even King of Pentacles in reverse. Just keep a lookout. And while you're looking, let's find the moon, Cancer. Just sidebar, if you're new, I used to have this backdrop that had the moon back here. I'm getting that all figured out, but nature my problem. And I will get you on the next one tomorrow.